Hello, everyone. My name is Finance Nick, or otherwise known as Nikolay, whatever you want to call me. Welcome to the Sincere Systems Group presentation. Today, we'll be covering from A to Z what Sincere Systems Group is, what they do, how you can make money, create a passive income for yourself, and achieve your goals. We're going to begin, obviously, with talking a little bit about what investment is for those of you who are new to investment and want to understand what foreign exchange, Forex, what a Forex bot is. Then we'll get into the details about Sincere Systems, what Sincere Systems is internally, in terms of their licensing, in terms of their registered capital, in terms of their backend. We're going to go into full detail on this company right here today. So I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank Sincere Systems Group team for having me on here, and thank you. Please don't forget we do have 3 days of webinars. That's tomorrow, after tomorrow, and after tomorrow at 5 p.m. Moscow time every single day. How to work with clients, color coding certain clients, how to work with your team, more in detail, sort of working on objections of clients. So don't forget to attend those as well. They're going to be 5 p.m. every single day starting today. But today we are relaxing. You guys are listening to, everything from A to Z, as I mentioned. Let's get started. So why one should invest? The big question here that I see, typically with working with partners from 20 years old to 40 years old, and myself being only 23, everyone's different. The first thing that I like to say is never too late. There are a couple of clients of mine who, are, much more experienced, as I like to say, in life than I am. And they look at me with disdain when I tell them about this investment opportunity because they seem to like everything, but they start, saying, hey, I think, I'm a bit too old for this, or maybe, like, which is cool. I completely respect that because maybe they feel that in order to get into this kind of field, in order to get into investing, you need to be like super young. You need to be like 20 years old. You need to have 20 years in front of you. No, you are not building a career in investment. This is not a job. As I like to say, this is a job that I enjoy doing. It's more of a hobby for me. I don't go to do these webinars for anyone. I do them for myself because I genuinely enjoy it, and because I like to teach people financial literacy. I like to teach them how to best manage their finances, how to make financial plans, and so on and so forth. List their expenses and incomes. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start investing today, and you can start earning a passive income today and achieve your goals that you set out to do in 20 years, or from when you were 40 until you were 60. You can achieve them at 45. You can achieve them within 5 years. You can achieve them within 4 years. Whether you're 20, 40, 50, 60, you can always achieve something new. You can always learn something new. And I think it's all about learning at the end of the day. So let's keep going. This is a really cool graph. So line of life in terms of money. Now, if you look at it, from the side at the first time you're looking at it, you're saying, all right, cool, we got the childhood, adolescence, pre-investment period. Quite logical. Not going to get into that, basically the tutorial on life where you finish college, you have fun, you party, you realize that you shouldn't drink too much, and you try to look for a job. That's what you're basically doing before the age of 22. There's not much going on there. Now, between the ages of 22 and 60, you've got your investment period, your capital active period of your life where you're trying to make as much money, as much capital. You're trying to be as successful as you can in creating a family and creating, everything, creating a future for your kids, whatever it is that your goals are, you're trying to achieve them. Now, the cool thing about this presentation is if you actually notice, the line in the middle from 22 to 60 actually stops growing at a point. Have you noticed that? It actually stops growing at about where you would see the number 40, age of 40 being about. So that's interesting. At first you look at it, you're saying, hey, it's growing. Yeah, cool. At 60, you get into, retirement mode. You're enjoying your money that you've earned. Sadly, not most people can't enjoy the money that they've earned because by 60, the way our economies work, the way that jobs work, I mean, full-time jobs, working, 9 to 5 every single day. Not everyone gets to, experience life after 60 the way they thought they would, because by the time you're 60, typically, you can't do the same things. You can't do the same stuff that you wanted to do when you were 40, 50. I hope you can, but it's all down to health. Point is, what I'm saying, from 22 to 60 years old, you can see that line stops growing, actually stops growing way before the age of 60. So let's just take a normal 9 to 5 sort of job. You're starting with, a basic salary and you're working your way up. So in about, let's say 10, 15 years, you achieve sort of a high managerial role. And there's not really much place you can grow from there unless, you're being a bit smart, maybe you're doing something tricky, maybe you're doing some side business deals. I'm not gonna get into that, into legalities and, whatever it is that you're doing, you're always on the hustle, but there is a certain point in everyone's career where they stop growing, salary wise, there is always a rooftop. If you're, a doctor, you can be the best doctor, but you're going to get that rooftop somewhere in some hospital, whatever it is. We're not talking obviously about the, unique sort of 1 out of 10 million, 100 million people who get lucky and, yes, they're super talented. Yes, but there is another 10 or 15 people like them and they just happen to become so successful because they were really pushing their health towards that, and a lot of these people who do become so successful, they end up, not all of them are, doing so great because, such success, such growth within their career makes them, it might affect them negatively. I'm just saying, I hope it doesn't. I'm just saying that we see this a lot, that the most successful people, it doesn't mean that they went through to that level of success without, torturing themselves somehow, psychologically, physically, and so on and so forth. So the most important part is you don't want to stop growing by the time you're 60, and you don't want that line to go down after 60. You want to keep growing. You want to keep making money. You want to keep making, passive income. You want to keep you don't want to, spend all your money that you've been earning up to 60 and spend it all in 5 years, and then after 65 you got no money, or worse, depending on a pension plan. This is the worst thing that you can do, I believe, simply because just I've done the numbers on, a pension plan, how the pension system works in my native country in Russia, and I've realized that it's a huge pyramid scheme. Like, the pension system in Russia is a pyramid scheme. Like, there's no hate, don't arrest me and anything, but I'm just being honest, because if you do the math, you're putting away lots and lots of money. You're actually putting away quite a bit, and the average statistic of, the average life of a male, of a man in Russia, is about like 70 years old. I think 72 years old. It's getting a little bit better. 72 years old, and now they've raised the pension age till 65. So you only start getting a pension when you're 65, but the typical average Russian man, no hate to any of my Russian comrades, I hope you guys live a long life, but 72 is the average statistic of male death in Russia. So you actually only get to get your pension for 5-7 years if you're lucky. And then obviously there are people who, I hope most of you are, that get to live a longer and more healthy lifestyle. But the point is that you're putting away money for 40 years and then you get to enjoy them for 5 years. In fact, the government doesn't pay you out this sum of money, like, I don't know, 5 million rubles or like $500,000, and just says, all right, you've been saving up all your life. Here's $500,000. This is how much you saved up. No, the pension system will pay you out like some pennies. And, overall, in those 7 years of life that you have left, first of all, most people, at least in my country, they can't move if they've, spent 40 years building a career, like teachers and whatnot. A lot of them can't afford to do anything anyway, and now, the pension system screws them up. So the point is, you don't want to depend on that. You want to diversify your portfolio. You want to diversify what you're doing. If you're a teacher, you want to start, looking for different sources of income. Not because, you should, teaching is bad. Teaching is fantastic. I always say that, affiliate marketing, for example, and, the networking business, it's all about teaching teachers to teach. It's not just teaching people how to use Sincere Systems Group. It's about teaching people to teach other people how to do that, how to achieve success, how to achieve a certain level of, continuity in terms of their portfolio, their financial status, above, sorry, someone's texting me. Someone's really, really gotta love me right now. My fans, my webinar fans. They're like, we see you. They're texting me. We see you. I see you too, guys. Anyways, thanks again for coming. Let's continue. All right, I think this is pretty clear. You don't want to reach that rooftop. You want to keep earning, so that's the point. So what types of investments are there? This is a really bad slide. I do apologize, but there are bonds, there are bank deposits, gold, precious metals, We've got cryptocurrencies and we got the forex rate speculation. I do apologize. I do not know why that is blurry, but we're gonna keep moving. So we got all these types of investments, right? And the one we're going to be focused on today is actually the forex rate speculation, right? So um, it doesn't matter really what you're looking at, what you're analyzing when you're looking at the investment market. You're trying to look for a diversified portfolio. And I always say this, I'm always, people come to me, they're like, yo, can I just put all my money into this one instrument? I say, no, you shouldn't do that. Even if that instrument is fantastic and it works perfectly like Sincere Systems, you can't do that. You need to be diversifying your portfolio. If you've got a large amount of money coming in, it's great if you can put a lot of it into Sincere. That's great. I can lie to you and say, hey, that's awesome, put all your savings in one instrument. No, you shouldn't do that. You should diversify. You should buy bonds, you should buy stocks, you should buy, I don't know, whatever it is, precious metals, and you should put a good sum into something like Sincere Systems, because you're going to be making a diversified rate of income on each of these products, that you got invested in. You're also actually lowering the risk, even though most of the things that I just mentioned, except like precious metals and securities, bonds and securities, most of those things are high risk investments. That's what, our banks tell us. They're high risk investments. I'm sorry. Show me a bank that, that is super safe. Like I honestly, I don't even want to get into it. I get really mad when I talk about this topic. So we're just going to talk about these high risk investments. You want to try diversify to as many of them as you can in order to lower that risk. You're increasing your income. You're also diversifying, and it doesn't matter how much each thing in your portfolio makes at this point. You're going to be making an overall good percentage of ROI when you're diversified, and you're being safe. You're being safe, and you're being safer than if you were to put all this money for a 3-year frozen savings deposit in a bank. You are more safe, and no one believes me about that. But I'm like, guys, there are so many anecdotes I can tell you about. I'm not going to hate here. There's one bank in my country. I'm not going to name it, obviously, but you might guess it's the biggest bank in the country. And there's an anecdote of everyone coming to basically this huge bank. They're having a corporate party, right? They're meeting up. And these top level CEOs, and they're all like, yo guys, congrats on the 180th birthday of our bank. And everyone at the table is like, yeah, we were working since 1890. It's been so many years. And then some random dude in the audience just goes like, hey, what about the scam, the checkbooks that you guys just zeroed out on all your clients in 1991, which was like 20 years ago. And they're like, oh, that was another bank. So that was no longer the 130-year-old bank. That was another bank. So this is this little anecdote of how the banking system sometimes screws its people. And these are banks, we're talking about government level banks. These are banks that control the country, the economy, so to speak. This is what the go-to banks of everyone in the country. This is not some basic thing. And these things happen. I'm not judging right now. No hate, of course. But I feel like people put a little bit too much trust into what exists and what is advertised to our faces from a certain perspective from the government. I have nothing against that. I'm just saying that people should open their eyes a little more, and not just put their money in a savings account in the bank. That's also not a bad idea. But your ROI is going to be like what, 5-6% a year? Yo, like, come on, that is a joke. Like, in order to actually make money on that, I mean, the inflation rate will screw you over. But hey, we're gonna get into that later. Anyways, what is forex? What is foreign exchange? So foreign exchange, forex, FX is the exchange of currencies in pairs in accordance to their appreciative and depreciative values. What that means is, as a good example I like to use is, you ever gone to a foreign country, you've ever visited a country as a tourist, you need dollars, right? Whatever your local currency. If you're in Russia, you got rubles. You go to an exchange, right, and you buy dollars with your rubles. Obviously the exchange makes money on selling you the dollar at a lower rate than what it actually is, and that's where they make that money in between that difference. So this is what foreign exchange is, and a lot of money is made on this. Obviously the foreign exchange in the past decades has moved completely online. And, in the past 10 years, it's just been online, and you can still, buy and sell currencies old school. But, most of the time now we can actually just do it, trade them, sorry, the actual trading that goes on and the money making goes on online. So the Forex, the foreign exchange has made quite a bit of it's quite a huge thing. It's a huge thing. If we take a look at the numbers here, we got these numbers on the left side in billions. That's in billions, guys. We've got 2007, 2010, 2013. It's just going up and up and up. The income is absolutely insane. It's insane. And what's the funny thing about this graph? You may notice that 2007, 2010. Let's not forget that those years were the years of an economic crisis that literally wiped out like the world, in terms of really screwed things up over there. And here we see that the income of the Forex market actually went up during that time. So it just tells you about one really cool thing that I like to tell people is, everyone who works 9 to 5 is afraid of an economy crisis, is afraid of the instability and volatility of the market. But a trader, an investor, or an investor in anything really, if you understand how finance works, understand how money works, is never afraid. An investor is always chilling. Even in an economy crisis, an investor is making money, because the more volatile the market, the more difference between the appreciating and depreciating values of whatever it is. If you're in cryptocurrency, if you're in Forex, if you're trading stocks, but stocks, it's a bit more, straightforward, straight line, streamlined, so to speak. But things like cryptocurrency, these things are flying. They're volatile. There's a lot of money to be made on them going up and down. So people typically think of, the typical mindset of the sheep of our society is, you're gonna, an unstable market is bad for business. It's bad for business. We're gonna lose our jobs, economy crisis, all this crap, wazoo is in our head, screw all this, that's what's going on in the head of, the typical sheep of our society. I don't want to hate on anyone right now, but that's what it is. I'm sorry. I heard, my parents old school, anyone who's old school will know this phrase and has heard their parents or their grandparents say this, things are going so bad, the economy is horrible. And I always wondered, I was like, what's so horrible? We're still alive. We still got a house, we're still renting in some place. Yeah, sure, the salaries have dropped, but what's so bad about that? And then I always saw, when we go to these like hotels, or if we visited any place during those years where there was supposedly an economy crisis, you always see these dudes with a lot of money, just like, and you could literally come up to them, and 90% of the time, if you ask them, why are you chilling right here in Miami? Why are you chilling on the beach with like a little coconut? The typical stereotype of like a person who has a lot of money, and they will tell you they're investors. They're chilling because they're happy. They're making money on the instability. So you should open up your mind. I'm not saying quit your job today and go work for yourself or whatever. Just do whatever it is you're doing. But you should start opening your mind up to new activities and new events that you could be taking care of. That's very important. Why algorithms supersede manual trading? So we're going to be getting into a little bit of the technical aspect right now. So artificial intelligence, right? Volume of data processed by robots in minutes would take less than days or weeks for a team of 10 analysts. So things are going, I like to say that we are living through the era, we've began the era or the epoch of digitalization, right? Digitalization is the huge key word here. Everything is going digital. We're going digital soon enough. I know I hate to say it, but in about 10 years, we're going to see that each one of us has almost like a license plate number written on our foreheads. And in 20 years, people are probably going to be, walking by and reading who you are and all the information about you just by looking at you. So that is something that is completely possible, by the way. Like I'm not a a fanatic of the, futuristic sort of movement and all these like digital crazy things that people talk about. But the way AI is, artificial intelligence, the way things are looking in the in the economy, in the finance market, in the crypto space, in the blockchain space, these things are going crazy, guys. I'm telling you, in 10 years, in 10 years, these things came about. In another 10 years, these things are gonna, blow out of proportion. So the cool thing about, algorithms versus trading manually, right? We're talking now about Forex trading on the foreign exchange market. The difference is obviously artificial intelligence. We always like to say that there is a human factor to any action that is going on. There is a human factor. Your workers or your traders get sick. I don't know. If one of your traders, broke up with his girlfriend, or divorced with his wife, and he does a crap job that day. Maybe he calls in sick for a week. These are things that will affect your company. If you're a company that specializes in trading, if you're a finance institution, if you're a bank, this is not a good thing, because you're working with money, you're working with big numbers here, especially if you're working with investments of other people, of other investors. I would rather leave my money to a proven bot, an AI bot like Sincere Systems, well, that trades for me, and I can see those trades. If you go on Sincere Systems, you can see those trades happening. Like, you can see what the bot was doing with your money today, and you don't need to call him, you don't need to tell him anything. He just does it. And the great thing is, obviously, the AI aspect about it is the artificial intelligence has reached a certain point, and this is not just on a blockchain level. This has reached a point on a sort of the intranet level. The internet of things is, we are no longer, like Jean Baudrillard, one of my favorite writers, Jean Baudrillard, in his book The System of Objects, and really in a lot of his work that I've been reading and working on, understanding, and when I mean understanding, I mean I would go through his work several times. I don't just read his book and say I've read that book. I've read System of Objects maybe 3 or 4 times, and all this other work. And what he's coming to basically is that he says, we are no longer, technology is no longer, an extension of the human body, but we humans are an extension of a logistical system. And the more I think about this, this sort of work that he's done, and sort of what he's coming to, the idea of what he's coming to, the more I agree with him. If you'd like take a look around, technology is no longer our extension. It's no longer the extension of our body. We are now each individual, lacking personality or not, doesn't matter. We are now all part of a system. We are now part of the logistical system, and each one of us brings in something new. So we don't need more workers. There's enough people in the world. There's enough people in the world who work. Who go to an office, who have an office job. But there's not enough people who think for themselves. That's one thing. Think creatively and think out of the box. These are the couple of things that 90% of the people nowadays lack. And the fact that you guys are in this webinar means that you've opened up your mind. So I congratulate you. Welcome. I'm really happy to see you guys here. And by the way, if anyone can't hear me or anything at all, any problems, there are some slides that are going to be blurry, but I'm going to say that. Do mention that in the chat box, and there will be a recording of the video after the webinar, but we will be taking a look at some things that I might not mention later on. Anyway, so algorithms are better than manual trading, because a robot can perform something that 10 people can perform within weeks. A robot can do in like 2 days. Decision making is much faster. A human being, again, the human factor. You cannot trust. I personally believe you cannot trust huge amounts of money to something like foreign exchange trading. You can, because you need quick decision making skills on that one. You need really quick decision making skills. And a lot of people ask me, this is very important, by the way. A lot of people ask me, they say, Nick, what about the cryptocurrency market? You always tell. I actually always do say that the crypto market is better done manually, not foreign exchange, the crypto market. And people get confused. They're like, wait, you just said that manual trading or computers. Yeah, we're confused what you're saying here. The crypto market, my friends, is better done manually. I will explain why. Because the crypto market is much more volatile. You can predict it as well as the foreign exchange market. It basically depends. The crypto market is quite new and it's quite fresh. And yes, there are bots that we have AI bots that create a portfolio on Binance for you. Like, I'm not going to talk about their products. I'm not supposed to in this video, but we have those things. But the crypto market is relatively new. You cannot trust it to a bot. This has to go through testing. It has to go through a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But the foreign exchange market has seen the use of bots for quite some time now. It's not a new market. It's existed for ages now, and I'm talking decades. So there's nothing new about the foreign exchange market. It's just the AI bot aspect that Sincere Systems brings to it, which makes it so awesome. Obviously, the faster decision making makes it much more profitable. Let's move on. Artificial intelligence advantages. We just spoke about everything about that. One computer takes out the need for thousands of people. And banks are doing this, by the way. Banks are firing or, moving people to different positions because a lot of the positions in the banking industry are being filled up by, computer systems. And we can see that every day. So this is obviously an updated presentation, by the way, guys. So make sure to share it and subscribe. So 20,000 investors we have in Sincere Systems from over 142 countries. I'm sorry, that is insane. I see this number growing every single week. I'm not even kidding. Like I work with all the other, representatives of the company, and we just talk between each other, and we're looking at the numbers. Like I tell myself it was just 16K, and now it's more than 20K, and it's just been like 4 weeks or like 2 months. In the past 2 months, we've really been blowing up. Things are going really well. Over 15 legal entities the company has, over 75 employees, and scheduled representative offices in the following 6 countries: Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, Germany, Estonia, and India. S Group trading in partnership with DDS Incorporated. So what is DDS? DDS is a huge and really well-known IT consultancy. Now, this IT consultancy is like a beast, on the market. It's a beast on the market. Why do I say that? Because the companies that they work with, I mean, obviously, apart from Sincere Systems, they handle the IT and the back end of Morgan Stanley, PNB Paribas, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, just naming, that's not all. This company is not something, just some random IT backend consultancy firm. This company works with top brands, the top financial institutions in the world. And before when I get into financial instruments, a lot of people say, how do you even get into them? How do you know you can trust them? And some of the things that I do take a look at, there's actually a list of 35 aspects that I take a look at when I look into financial instruments and opportunities as well, specifically in the finance market. That I take a look at. One of those things is, licensing, obviously, registered capital. Does the company have registered capital? Does who does the company partner with? Who handles their IT? Who handles their backend? Especially companies that have such a, integrated and crazy, internal system, that they've built themselves, especially in terms of blockchain. Sincere Systems has their own blockchain system. There's no way that you just come up with that and just build it on the spot. You need to be working with some really top-notch people. You need to be working with a really good team in order to achieve those results, and have Sincere Systems working like it does. That's not just something you can go to a web developer and say, hey, build me a platform, which is going to know. There's security aspects to a huge security aspects and issues that need to be put in place. Lots of things to be put in place in order to keep your money safe. And obviously, one of those things is looking at who the company works with. And the fact that they work with DDS is a huge pointer to, them being legitimate and them, being worthwhile as, one of your top financial instruments that you can use. So this is why I'm really proud of them. Well done to Sincere Systems for that. Here we can actually see 4 of the licenses that the company operates under. You can see them through the link that is on the slide through companieshouse.gov.uk. And so we got activities of investment trust, activities of open-ended investment companies, administration of financial markets, other information technological service activities. So the company is completely licensed to do what it does, to make money for other people, to accept investments, and so on and so forth. The company's registered capital. This is really cool. A lot of financial instruments that I know do not have registered capital, and that sort of puts me in a sort of iffy position in terms of their security of my, keeping my money. And the fact that Sincere has it, 5 million pounds of registered capital, that's not a bad start at all. Considering the company is only like 2 years old. That's 2021. Yeah, about 2 years old now. A bit more than 2 years actually. It has the safety standard, right? Sincere Systems has the International Legal Entity Identifier, LEI. It is a unique code or identifier assignable to legal entity in accordance with international standard ISO 17442. And used while making transactions and reporting on international financial markets. What does that mean? We've all heard of the term ISO. If you're in, operations, logistics, in fact, in any industry, ISO is international standardized, sort of certification that is received based on how well you perform the activities that you do perform, and whether you fit, the international standard. Does the ISO organization approve of how everything goes down. In this sense, ISO 17442 is actually the international standard for transactions and reporting on international financial markets. So the fact that this company has them, that Sincere Systems has it, is actually a huge deal, because it just points to the fact that their system is proven. The system is proven in terms of safety, in sort of safe transactions, and this is really important. So keep this in mind. This is really cool especially if you're working with new partners. This is something you want to share with them, that these are the internals of the company that I just talked about. So let's move on to the mission of Sincere Systems: to create a global financial ecosystem which would allow each partner to use innovation services and earn on them. How lovely. Ecosystem is made up of three components, which is trading, pharmaceutical, and finance ecosystem. So we're going to be getting into trading. I will be covering finance ecosystem. I will not be doing a lot on the pharmaceutical, simply because I personally do not know a lot about it, but I'll just run through it real quick. I want to be as clear and as concise in terms of the information that I give in my webinars as possible. And if I'm not, sure about something, I'm not going to go making things up. I'm going to just read the slides and let you know what it is, and you guys can decide for yourself and, study it more. 4 years old. Abby just saw that. Sorry. 4 years old. Yes. And yeah, perfect. So trading is one huge aspect of the company. The average profitability of the company is about 15.5% a month. That's what we saw as an average statistics of 2019, and 14.5% a month in 2020. This is the investment offer of the company. And you can see here that there are different packages that are offered to our clients, to investors, right? So the company's income, it varies every single week, as every single month, sorry, and the amount that you get depends on the amount that you invest. So let's say you invest, between $100 and $500. Your investment goes into the first level, or into the first package. So you're actually going to be part of the 50%. You're part of the income. What that means is you're going to be receiving 50% of the company income, of the company's percentage. So if the company makes 15.5%, if you have $100 invested, you're going to get 50% of that 15%, which is about 7.5%. That's going to be your passive income. If you've invested $5,000, you get 70% of the company's 15.5%. So 70% times by 15.5%, you're going to be looking at around 9-10% of passive income that specific month. So your income depends completely on the investment that you've made, and it also depends on the amount that the company has made. Wow, 4 years already. Jesus Christ. Time flies. Okay. Trust management trading statistics. So these are the statistics that we see the company has been making over, the period of its existence, of its operations. And we can see here there are a lot of years that are, bouncing up and down. You've got, 20s, 26%, 18%, 20%. And we've got like a stable 14, 15% average going on at the company. Obviously, there are some lows. We've got 8%, 9%, 10%. But, as I mentioned, the market is very volatile, and the amount of money made depends, obviously on the volatility of the market, on how well the bot is trading that month, that day, whatever it is. The average that we do see is about 15.5% per month. So this is the slide that shows you the passive income that you can expect to make. This is an average. Obviously, we're considering that the company this month has made 15.5%. How much would you have made from that? So if you've invested $100 to $499, you're actually going to be making 50% of that 15.5%. So 50% of 15.5% is 7.75%. So if you've invested $100 or $499, you're going to be making 7.75% passive income. Now, if you've invested $10,000 to $25,000, you fall into the 75% category. That's the fifth level, fifth investment offer, which means 75% of 15.5% is 11.6%. So you can see that the more you invest, the bigger the chunk of the company profit you can take. Obviously, the company needs to make money as well. So you're sort of slicing that company profit up with them. And the more you invest, the more the company is willing to give to you. The more you invest, the more the company is willing to help you out and give you a bigger and more tasty passive income. Obviously, if you invest more than $50,000, your passive income from an average of 15.5% of company profit per month, you're going to be making 13.2, which is, that's fantastic. 13.2% ROI per month. That is insane. Show me a bank, show me one bank. I can bet that you will not be able to, find that for me, especially with, banks, typically to see these kind of percentages, you need to be like Houdini. I don't know. I've not heard about this personally. I'm sure Avi's probably heard of it, but I've not heard of it personally. Avi, if you have heard of this, do let us know. I need to contact that bank that's making us 13% per month. And if you don't, then let's just keep going with Sincere. Compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. And it truly is, my friends. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Now, why do I say that? I'm just going to go through the numbers here and you're going to realize why I say that. So let's say, I began with an investment of $500, right? So we're literally going to take this step-by-step story time, guys. Just chill out, have some tea, and just listen to this little story that I got for you. So let's say I invested $500. Right. So if I've invested $500 in Sincere Systems, it means that I fall into the $500 to $1,500 investment category. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to talk about the Sincere credit card. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We will talk about that. Let's just get into the compound interest. The credit card is part of the ecosystem, the finance ecosystem that I mentioned in the beginning, a couple slides back. Let's just go through compound interest and we'll get to it, Abby. Don't worry. So I've invested $500, which means that my passive income per month is 9.3%, according to the slide that we saw before. Now, in the first month, $500 will make me, times 9.3%, will make me 46.5 bucks. That's great, but I'm not happy. I'm greedy. I want more. So obviously, I reinvest this money. I put this money back into my deposit, which means now I have 500 plus $46.5. I have $546.5. And again, I'm still, part of the 500 to 1,500 package investment offer, which means I'm still getting 9.3%. But as you can see, 9.3% of $500 is 46.5%. 9.3% of $546.5 is $50.8. So the higher your deposit, you're reinvesting your deposit, and your the income that you make monthly will grow as well. So you're not just growing your savings, you're actually growing the income that you are getting every single month. So you can see that when I've earned in the second month $50.8, I'm going to invest them right back in. I'm going to have $597.3 in my deposit, times that by 9.3%. That's 55.5. So we can see in the duration of 3 months, our monthly income from this, deposit of $500 has increased by $10. So in the third month, we're not making 46.5 anymore. We're making 55.5. And that's the beauty of compound interest, because you're growing everything exponentially. Everything grows exponentially. And we can see here with Sincere Systems, typically what we see is your investment will be, not, I don't want to say the word paid back, but you're going to be making that amount of money that you've put in, more than that, in the first 9 months. So you're actually, in the first 9 months, you should be not only breaking even on your investment, you should be making more than that. And if you keep reinvesting, that's just going to, reward you even more. So you can see here by, month number 10, our $500 has now turned into $1,112, and $1,112 gives us a monthly income of 103 bucks. So in the duration of 10 months, we have doubled our monthly income. That's insane. Imagine I told you guys that your boss, let's say I'm not your boss, but your boss comes to you and says, hey, I'm going to double your salary every 10 months. How cool is that? You would probably say I'm crazy, right? But let's just take that into perspective. Compound interest lets you do that. And a lot of people don't understand how that works, but it's pretty simple. You reinvest that money, you have a bigger deposit, so your savings actually grow, and those savings are working for you. As I always say to people, every single dollar has to work for you. Every single dollar has to work for you. And if it doesn't, well, then, inflation is just going to eat it up one day anyways. And yeah. Let's continue. So by the end of this year, I started with 500 bucks, remember? We end the year with a total of $1,452, which means we've made $500 has made us around $952 in a single year, which is not too much, but hey, that's great because we've broken even and we've actually increased our deposit 1.5 times. That's awesome. Now, if we start with 500 and we keep it for 3 years, you could turn $500 into $16,000, and we're going to see how just now. I'm not going to get into the 10%. We're going to get into the next slide, and you will see how that works. So now we've got around $1,500. Let's say we've just invested it, or we continue our deposit from the year before. We have $1,500, which means that we fall into the bracket of 65-35. What that means is we get now from 15.5% of company profit, considering they make that profit every single month, we get 10% of that, not 15.5, we get 10%. That's our passive income. So 1,500 to $5,000 will get you 150, $1,500 will get you $150 in the first month. So right now we can see that, in the first month of the second year, we're already making 3 times the amount that we were making when we had $500 in that Sincere Systems account we were talking about. We can see it's the same thing. We reinvest the money. Now we have 1,650 plus 165, 1,815, and so on and so forth. You just keep reinvesting your money. And by the end of, month 10, again, we see the amount 3,000, month 9, actually, $3,213. We can see that, again, we have just over doubled, more than doubled our, initial amount that we were working with. And our initial amount in this case is that $1,500. So we can see typically that, following the compound interest sort of, scheme, and obviously this is an average, but we're going to be looking at making back and breaking even within like 9 to 10 months, which is freaking awesome, guys. That's really cool. And we can see now that in the first month with a deposit of $1,500, we're making $150. In month 10, our income is $353. So again, we have once again doubled our income. So as I mentioned, the best example I like to use is, imagine your boss coming up to you and telling you, hey, how about we double your salary every 9 months? Heck, I would be really happy if any of my bosses ever, when I was working, in startups and, for the government projects that I ran for UAE, if anyone had told me, hey, we're going to double your salary for 10 months, I would say, hey, maybe I'll stay, I wouldn't have left because that's pretty cool, So compound interest lets you do that. So we can see that $1,500, if let's say you invested that today, in 3 years, you could just turn that with reinvestment into $60,430. That's insane. That's insane. You're making 40 times what you're putting in. These things exist. These things are real, and when I tell some people about them, obviously I don't work with everyone. I see if a person's even ready, as I like to say. Some people are not, the flower has not bloomed yet, enough. It's not ready to bloom. And a lot of people, I don't even try to prove a point. I just tell them what's up, and they tell me, whatever, this is all crap. I'm like, okay, here's a couple webinars, you watch these, check it out, do the math. And then they do the math and they start asking questions. And we're going to be talking about in my next webinars, tomorrow, after tomorrow, and after tomorrow at 5 p.m. Moscow time, about how to work with partners. And that was a little break. So let's continue. Now that we've got compound interest, we're on the third slide here. We are beginning with an investment of $5,000. Now, when we invest $5,000, we're falling into the 70-30 bracket. The 70-30 bracket gives us a 10.85% of ROI per month, which is fantastic. A $5,000 deposit today will make you $542.50. Now, $542.50 is a pretty good amount. From the deposit that we're putting in, that's pretty good. That's not just pretty good. That's that's the salary of some people. And not just some people, most people. At least for Russia, even in the UAE, I would say, some of the lower paying, that's more than minimum wage, for some people. So we're not talking about third world countries, obviously, but that's good. That's fantastic. The fact that this money is made, from absolutely nowhere, not from nowhere, but from trading, it's crazy. And then you reinvest that and you grow your deposit. And once again, we see 9 to actually 8 months in this case, 8 months passes, and you've already got 10,000. So once again, you've doubled. 8, 9, 10 months it should take for your deposit to double, so you can break even and do whatever it is that you got to do. Keep it going, and whatever method that you're following with your investment. But we see that with a deposit of about $10,283, you now fall into the next bracket, which is the 11.6 bracket, 11.6% bracket, because the over the $10,000 bracket will get you a bigger percentage, right? So something we've discussed in the previous slides. 11.6% of $10,000 will get you approximately $1,192. That is great. This is what I love about, Sincere, and what I love about compound interest. And this is why they call it the eighth wonder of the world. So if you actually put in $5,000 today, in 3 years, it will turn into $315,000. Some of the indicators of profitability. So here we can see that um, these are all the percentage sort of incomes, monthly incomes of the company for the whole time of its existence. Holy crap, it has been 4 years. Geez, the last couple of years have just been flying by. I'm so happy I got into this, investments, and I got into, crypto, and I got into everything, because the past couple of years just, they just flew by in a flash. But we can see here that all the monthly incomes added up through simple interest. If we calculate simple interest of the company saving its money, we actually only have 208% growth. Now, this is an example. Imagine that, the company is doing this with all the income that they have received. If they do this exact same thing that we talked about with the company money and all the percentages that they've made over the past months that they've been operating, and calculate them through compound interest, the amount of growth that they achieve is 1,280%. So you can see that through compound interest, you're actually growing at a much faster rate, 5 times faster actually, than if you were just taking money out every single month. You are increasing the time for your deposit to grow. You're much more vulnerable to inflation. You're much more vulnerable to wasting time if you do not take advantage of compound interest. And that's why I say, no matter how old you are, you can invest, because when you're 40, you don't want to spend 20 years, or when you're 60, you don't want to spend 20 years till you're 80 investing and taking out piece by piece. You want to make that money in about 3-4 years max, and you want to be happy. You want to live your life on that money. So anyways, let's continue about medical cannabis. I'm gonna touch upon this, but I'm not gonna get into too much detail. I'm not gonna say why, but it's just I'm not into it. But we will be covering it. So the market size, the global world cannabis market, both regulated and illegal, is estimated at $340 billion US. Despite extensive global restriction, more than 263 million people worldwide consume cannabis annually. More than 50 countries worldwide have legalized some forms of medical cannabis. Also, 6 countries have legalized recreational use of cannabis by adults. We can see the percentages of profit that these regions are making. So the company's held preliminary assessment, and it will cost the company 50 million euros to realize this entire project with the medical cannabis. The expected company capitalization while launching IPO is within 100 million euro. So what's the plan? The company registration is registered already in Portugal, SPV, special purpose vehicle. Approval of the cultivation project linked to location on particular premises, obtaining the license on processing cultivation, cultivating the high in THC, and so on, so forth, and selling to the European market. We get it. You're great. Now, in this slide, we can see all the dividends. When the video is released, you can pause this. I'm not going to stop too much on this, but this is the investment ratio that you're getting. These are the different rounds of investments that you can come into if you didn't make it for the first. Is to buy. Why the only way to deposit in Sincere is to buy Bitcoin? No, you can actually deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron. You can deposit USDT. You don't have to buy Bitcoin in and of itself, just Bitcoin. You can put in different currencies. Anyways, the dividends on raw product selling. So these are the dividends that you can expect: 70 to 100%. Income on shares selling times 10, times 20, times 30, whatever. Sincere Pay. Yes, finance ecosystem. You know what, Abby? That's a good question. Let me get back to that after the webinar. We're almost done. We're almost done. I just want to go through the ecosystem for anyone who's new out here to understand the credit card, how it works and all so forth. So Sincere Pay has the Sincere ecosystem, the finance ecosystem aspect of Sincere Systems is made out of 3 really cool, awesome aspects, which one of them is the SNT, which is a decentralized unit of account, the S Wallet, which is a multifunctional payment system, and S Blockchain, which is an internal in-house blockchain system built by the company. Now, that is a really cool achievement that not a lot of financial instruments can do, have their own integrated in-house built blockchain system. That's really cool. So the SNT, a utility token used within Sincere ecosystem for secure, transparent, and instant financial transaction performance. Obviously, they have their own blockchain. They have their own utility token. This is whoever doesn't understand blockchain. Take a look at Bitcoin. Take a look at Ethereum. Take a look at Vitaly Buterin, who created Ethereum. What is blockchain? How he talks about the token. What is a utility token? I'm not going to get into that, but This, SNT token is, the in-house utility token that helps keep the blockchain running. You actually receive your income in SNT tokens, and you can straight away exchange them for fiat USD for dollar income and take it out of the system. The S Wallet, multifunctional payment system enabling to conduct any kind of operations with crypto and fiat currencies worldwide. The S Wallet advantages, buy, store, convert cryptocurrencies in one place. You can actually do all that in S Wallet. You don't necessarily need to do all of that on Binance. You can actually transfer everything to S Wallet and keep it there, and exchange it whenever you need. All the operations within the payment system are performed instantly. This is actually really true. Anything you do within the S Wallet is extremely quick, because they don't rely on any third parties to do anything for them. It's an in-house built wallet system, and it's not even open. It doesn't even open up as part of the platform. If you've actually been on the Sincere Systems platform, the wallet opens up separately. There's a separate button that opens a separate tab for the S Wallet. Why is that done? Because Sincere Systems as a company is always growing, and they're always making changes to their main website, to the platform. They're adding stuff, taking away stuff. They're making stuff more useful and more easy to use. If they do that, and people have to wait to access their wallets if that's on the platform, that's going to annoy a lot of people. So they've made the platform of the wallet separately, so that you never have to worry about it going offline. Even if the main website's offline, the wallet isn't. Extremely convenient, simple to use. There's no need to download anything on your device. Security: each account in the payment system has 3-level security degree, the LEI, which we spoke about. Yes, here we go, Avi, your question, right? Make any kinds of payments with the use of S Wallet debit card. So what you can actually do is order a S Wallet debit card through the company. How to do that? You can ask on the company platform. You can actually type in, some of the, I don't know how, I don't have one. I'll be really honest, I don't have one. But from what I know, what I've been told is that you can have one ordered to you, and you can actually keep all of your income on there. Any income that you're making on Sincere Systems, you can actually keep it on, the card. And this is fantastic because, we're talking about the future here, that soon enough we are going to be paying with Bitcoin, we're going to be paying with Ethereum, we're going to be paying with whatever it is that we're paying with. And the fact that, Sincere Systems is really looking into the future here with their debit cards. We're not just looking at fiat currencies, we're talking about crypto payments, So soon enough, we're going to be putting our, paying for our crisps and our, coffee with Bitcoin through cards, or maybe not even with cards, Yeah, Advocash has a huge commission fee. I don't know about I'll be really honest with the Sincere Systems card. I do not use it, but I have heard that it works. I'm sure there are some kind of commission rates that, they experience. There are some commission things that go on, but these things need to be clarified. You know what? I'll actually do a webinar on these questions. I might add that in the next webinars. I'll ask around if anyone has one out of the, ambassadors that I know, top leaders that I know, and see if anyone actually has one. And I'm going to ask about, the rates. So Avi, don't worry about that. We're going to be covering that. I'll definitely add it on in tomorrow's webinar. I'll see if I can find out something about that, because I myself, I'm curious. I do not have one, and I actually want to know if it's worth, getting. But the point is that these guys are cool because they've managed, sort of to have their own system, like Advocash, like whatever it is that you're using. Well done to them. So S Blockchain, the private blockchain new generation network intended to ensure transparency, security, high productivity, and low transaction costs at all stages of cooperation within the system. So the cool thing is that, you get your income from Sincere Systems on a monthly basis. You can see it coming in on a weekly basis, but you can only withdraw your income on a monthly basis. You actually only get paid every month. So your income that you get every month, I've obviously, been using the system for some time now. Not for 4 years, but for a couple of years now, more than 2 years, and been taking out the whatever passive income that I'm getting, and the transactions are pretty low. The transaction fees are really low. I mean, from the platform to the wallet, you're transferring I think it's one SNT token, which is equivalent to like 14-15 cents, and then from the wallet to Binance, I believe that's through TRC, which is like 50 cents. TRC20, if you're transferring USDT from the wallet to Binance, it's 50 cents. So you spend 65 cents, and then, you go P2P into your card and whatever it is that you want in the world. You're going to lose a couple of cents on, on the market, for selling P2P someone due to the exchange rate. So you're actually spending less than $1 for using the blockchain of Sincere Systems. They're not too expensive at all. Not that that's super unique. I'm not saying that they're the only ones who have this, but the fact that they are so quick and so awesome at doing what they do is great. So an investment offer, Sincere Staking ends S&T. For those of you who do not know what staking is, I really advise you to find out really soon and really get into it, because staking can make you very happy. Okay, I'm just saying. So Sincere System, what is staking? Staking is, in simple terms, you're putting in whatever token it is that you have. You can do that with Ethereum 2.0. You can stake Ethereum 2.0 because it works on proof of stake, not proof of work like Ethereum 1.0 version. I'm going to confuse you guys here. Look, the basic idea is staking. You have a token, you put it in, you freeze it. This token makes you more tokens. Basically, look at it as a reward, as a bonus reward. You make more tokens for yourself. You put in 100, you get 150 back, for example. It's the same thing with Sincere Systems. So there's a staking option. You can stake the Sincere utility token for 30 days, and you have to have a minimal amount for staking at 10,000 S&T. It all depends on the amount of S&T directed. The profit depends on how much you put in, obviously, and depends on how many participants there are within the platform. So that number I cannot give you, but the total amount of transactions in the blockchain within the chosen retention period. So the more people use Sincere Systems, the more you're going to make staking your S&T. So the more popular the blockchain is, the more popular this network, that the S&T token, is utilized on, works, and the more transactions that go there and back, there and back, there and back, the more income you're going to make staking your S&T. So the more profitability. If people stop using the blockchain system, first of all, the value of the S&T token is going to go down. And this is like with anything, really. It's with Ethereum, with Bitcoin. One of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that is becoming so popular is because a lot of companies are using the Ethereum blockchain. That's it. It's not just the news and all that, Elon Musk stuff for, the politics within the game. Yes, it is very important. Yes, it does play a role, but it is also very important. And this is also part of the news when you hear that, Tesla is going to be accepting Ethereum and Bitcoin payments, which means they're going to be using these, networks, the Ethereum network, the Bitcoin network, the S&T network, I hope S&T blockchain, blockchain network for doing transactions. This is exciting, yes, and this bumps up the value of tokens because that it's going to be in use. It's going to bring you more money. It's going to become more popular. The more popular something is, remember, money, like anything else, is made up. Money, like anything else, is made up, and it does not necessarily hold a specific value behind it. So a lot of money depends on how much people believe in it. It's the same thing with using it. So the more people use it, the more popular it is, the more valuable it is. Otherwise, that if money did not hold any, how do you say it, psychological value, I would say, if we didn't use the dollar, no one would use the dollar, then the value of the dollar would be nothing, right? Logically, it's the same thing with tokens. So when people say like, crypto or whatever can fall and disappear and you could lose all your money, like if the US stops making wars everywhere in the world in order to keep up the dollar, then the dollar will also fall. I'm not saying, I'm not a politician or whatever it is. I don't know much about politics, but if America didn't have one of the most powerful militaries, or Israel didn't have the most powerful militaries in the world, not a lot of people would be using the dollar. Well, Israel is a different story. They've always had a powerful military, but we're talking about the US specifically because they're the financial hub, so to speak. Their dollar is used everywhere. Why is it used everywhere? Well, because the dollar it backs up almost every transaction. It's the same with blockchain. If people are buying and selling Bitcoin, then it's going to be popular. It's going to rise in value. It's the same with Ethereum. So people who say cryptocurrency is a scam, no, it's just people believe in it. And the fact that people believe in it, you cannot make them unbelieve it. This is why governments are now implementing, crypto licenses for banks in Switzerland. Why do you think that? Well, because they realize that people, are really getting into it. It's not just some phase. It's not a hype, whoa, Bitcoin, we're so rich. Cool. Let's sell it off. No, people are starting to use this. Blockchain has become a huge integrative part of operations, logistical companies. So why am I getting into all of this? Is because S&T is a utility token of the blockchain of Sincere Systems, and it works the same way. The more people believe in it, the more people use it, the blockchain system, for making transactions, selling, buying, what exchanging on it, the more Israel's the best. Love you, bro. I love you. The more popular it is, the more popular the S&T token is in price, and so on and so forth. So automatic reinvestment. Whew. In order to get into the staking, you need to keep huge amounts of S&T tokens on your account. So if you do not have a subscription, you can only keep 500 of them. And if you want to keep more, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, million S&T tokens, you're going to need to buy a subscription, which you can see the prices right here. When the video comes out on the Sincere Systems group or my channel, Finance Nick, you can just pause it and study this. I'm not going to get into it. These are the packages for keeping and storing on your account. If you have more than 500 S&T tokens and you do not have a subscription, this money will automatically transfer into dollars the next day. So that's how they sort of go about it. If you don't have a subscription, the money sort of changes to fiat, which is fine. If it changes to fiat currency, I still get paid, the money doesn't disappear, so it's all good. Partner program. Let's talk about partners. And we're going to be getting into this for the next 3 days. We've got 3 webinars coming up. That's what I'm saying. The partner program, we're going to be learning about how to work with partners. Right now, we're going to be going through the reward system and the marketing system of the company. How does the company reward people for marketing the company? It's like a lot of people don't understand affiliate marketing, right? A lot of people come to me and they're like, what is affiliate marketing? It seems a bit, scammy. It seems a bit weird. I'm just like, yo, take that word out of your lexicon. Forget that word. Affiliate marketing has been around for ages. I'll be really honest. If any of you have heard of Tinkoff Bank, it's like a huge private bank here in Russia. I recently, like about half a year ago, I joined Tinkoff. I had Sberbank and I joined Tinkoff. And you know how I joined Tinkoff? My friend sent me a referral ID, a referral link for downloading the Tinkoff app and getting the card. So I got a bank card through a referral, and my friend got about, how much did he get? About 1,000 rubles. What's that? About, I don't know, divided by 70, what, about $10. He got $10 because I opened a bank account, through him. So when people talk to me about like affiliate marketing, partner program and stuff like that, I'm just like, shut up. Like, everyone uses it. Everyone I know, every single company in some matter of way, whatever it is, uses affiliate marketing, and there's always a marketing budget for that. So if you're investing investment instrument that is really, successful, so to speak, just like Sincere Systems, Google is not going to let you advertise. Like, if you did not know that, why do you think you do not see Sincere Systems advertisements everywhere on Google? Why do you think that? Because Google does not want you to see these advertisements. It's super simple. It's not because Sincere Systems doesn't want to advertise. All these investment instruments, the whole financial world wants to advertise, but there are certain things that are not allowed to be advertised. So investments that are considered, I mind you, considered high risk, that offer big profits and good profits on, even if the company is successful like Sincere Systems and they work like, on the level of JP Morgan, no, because this is not good. Who is it not good for, guys? It's not good for banks. It's not good for banks. If people are making money, through Sincere Systems, who's not happy? The banks are not happy. Of course, the banks are not happy. That's bad. The governments are not happy. You need people to get loans. The banker's dream is people getting a loan for 20 years. That's the most beautiful thing a banker can have, because that means this is what's happening to you for the next 20 years. That's what a loan is. Welcome to the real world. So if someone were to tell me, my parents, 15 years ago, hey, don't take that loan on that house in, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, they'd have just been like, no, man, that's the only way to go. But if I were in their place now, obviously all this time has passed. I mean, I respect them. I love them so much, but Jesus, I didn't realize what loans were until, I turned about 20 years old. I didn't realize, and I've never had one, but that's because I understand that if I get into, a loan situation, that's a huge responsibility. And things like Sincere System investment, financial instruments like Sincere Systems help people overcome these, sort of obstacles, these loans, credits, whatever, debt, it helps them overcome that. That is not valid. That's not good for a bank. That is not good, and I'm not against that. Don't think I'm like doing some political stuff over here. But this is the truth, and if people, understand how money works, they're going to attract more money. The rule number one of money, guys, is when you know how to control money, the money flows out of the pockets of those who do not know how to control it into the pockets of those who know how to control it. If you don't know how to control money, How do you expect to make any? Dreaming about it every day is not going to bring you more money. If you know how to control it, that's where the money is made. And that's why 10% or one, whatever the statistics, I'm not the math guy, who's going to do the statistics work, and I'm a nerd or whatever on that matter. But we have 1% of the population controlling 99%. Why is that? Some people protest, they get angry. I'm like, no, don't get angry. If I gave you, a homeless man, $1 million, what's a homeless man going to do with $1 million? He's going to spend that money. He's not going to make any more money with that. And that's how the world works. You think there aren't kind people who've given out, huge amounts of cash to, people have won lotteries, the lottery system, how it works. People have won lotteries. People do win lotteries. Every year there's a person or two who win a huge lottery for 10 million, $100 million. What do they do with it? In 5 years, they're broke. Why? Why is that? And then people get surprised. Why do these bad people, this 1% of our society control 99% of it? Because you don't know how to control money. If you knew how to control money, you'd be part of that 1%, right? Logic. So anyways, the partner income data table, I got a little carried away there because as I mentioned, my webinars are pretty expressive, and I actually go into a lot of detail on what I say. I don't just read out slides to you. I want you guys to learn something, which is really cool. So the income data table, Sincere Systems has a really great bonus program. So if you market the program, if you market the products that they have, you can make potentially some good amounts of money. And like a lot of the top leaders that I work with, they've achieved some higher levels already, and they actually live on a really nice passive income and get bonuses for it as well. So if you just joined Sincere Systems and you have $100 invested, you're a level 1, and you get 5% of all the income of your partners that you sign up. So for example, if Bob, who signed up through me, makes $100, I'm going to make $5 because he's in my structure, he's in my team. Now, this is considering I've invested $100 myself, and the team turnover is less than $3,000. Now, let's take a look at, from level 4 starting. That's where things get interesting. In this case, you still have a minimum investment of $100, but you have a team turnover of $25,000. So imagine I got, 25 people, them and their friends to put in $25,000 total, including my $100. Our team turnover now, everyone under me in my structure, is $25,000. That's the value of our team. The company actually will pay me $1,000 bonus, which is great. $25,000 isn't a huge amount. And don't forget, you still get that percentage on top of level 4. So level 4 percentage is 10.5%. You actually not only get a passive income from the deposit that you have in the company, so you get a double income right here. You get an income from your money, and you get an income as a reward for getting people to join, for referring people, and for marketing the company. Some of the higher levels, we look at level 15, when you have a team turnover of $3 million and you've invested a minimum of $30,000, your bonus is going to be $150,000. So please, this is a great money maker. This is a great money maker. Affiliate marketing does work for a lot of people. It doesn't work for a lot of them, but it works for some people. And I gotta say, in terms of the company integrity and the kind of, yeah, nice. Abby's got what, 10K? That's fantastic. He's level 3 already. That's great. So the next level, in Abby's case, Abby's going to be getting $1,000 bonus when he gets to level 4. So this is a perfect example. So Abby's a perfect example of, the great part about this, guys, is that everything grows exponentially. You have 10 people in your group. That's cool. But then you have, exactly, nice. 25K is the next goal. Exactly. So you have 10 people in your group, and these 10 people will get you another 10 people to join. But once you have 20 people, 20 people will get you another 20 people to join. And slowly, exponentially, your passive income will start growing, not just from your own investment, but from the team that you're growing. And what you're doing with the team is you're teaching them to teach other people. This is the goal. If you want to achieve great success in affiliate marketing, if you want to achieve these bonuses that we see here, you need to focus on not just telling people about this. You need to teach them how to teach other people, even if they put $100 into it. But if they can get you 10 contacts who can get, another $100,000 into your team, you've just achieved 100,000 team turnovers, level 6, you get a $5,000 bonus just because you've taught that person how to explain how the system works, how everything works in the system. That's so simple. That's all it is. You just got to understand it yourself. and you got to promote it yourself. If you're into marketing the company, you can make some really good money with this, you know. And Abby, I wish you to get to level 11 as fast as possible, man. That's 16% monthly income from the income of your team. So every single person makes money in your team, right? Imagine getting 16% of all those incomes as rewards. That's awesome. Plus, you get a $1 million bonus when you hit 25 mil. Sick. Get second and third marketing levels even today. So you also may increase your level with the help of personal deposits. With the availability of summarily $3,000 personal deposits, you're a level 2, 7%, or level 3 like Abby, 9%. So if you have summarily $10,000 of personal deposits, you don't necessarily have to have partners with $10,000. You can actually put in your own 10,000 bucks, and that will count towards the team turnover. So you could get level 3 today just by investing 10,000 bucks. You've already opened up a window of opportunity for yourself. Additional marketing bonuses. This is really cool. So this is new. This is actually really new, guys. So keep in mind, this is part of the updated stuff that I've been talking about. You know, number of partners with 16% level. So this is about talking about your team now. If you have one partner with level 16 and the required general team turnover for 30 days is $5 million, you know, so the team turnover is $5 million. And what the partner who has this turnover is level 16, one of them. Level 16 is the highest level. You actually get a reward from the company's general turnover for 30 days. So we talked about the company making 15.5%, right, in a month. Now, if you fit this top level, right, this is one of the levels. You have a partner of level 16, and this partner has made $5 million team turnover, right? You get 0.5% of the entire company income. Can you imagine that? 0.5% of company income. That's insane. Imagine the company makes 10 million bucks, you know, and you making 0.5% of that. That's insane. Or I actually don't know. Is it 0.5% from the company income? Because that would be insane. If the company income is 15.5% and you get 0.5%, you're essentially getting, you know, 1/20th of that. So that is insane. Yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on? You know? So this is actually quite new. I'm going to confirm this for the next webinar that we do next week on this overview. I'm going to confirm some details on this, but this seems really, really cool. So the number of partners with level 16, if you have 3 partners and each of them I'm guessing has a team turnover of $3 million, you also get 0.5% of the monthly company income. And if there's 5 partners with level 16, which is, you know, this puts you at a level where you're like the king of level 16s, where you've just got like under like $1 billion in your structure. But you know, the reason the companies opened up these sort of levels and these rewards is because people are achieving them. You know, this just points to the fact that people are achieving these levels and making a huge amount of money. You know, so it is completely possible. It's not just the company opened this partner program and there's like 5 people in it. You know, people have already achieved level 16. Sergey Shevchenko is a huge fan of his. He's a great friend, you know, great colleague. You know, we're working on a lot of things together. He achieved that level. All right. Why can't you? There's another person who achieved. We have 2 people who have achieved that level now. So obviously the company's got to be making more and more opportunities for these people. Otherwise, these people who are promoting the company will get bored. So they need to grow as well. The company is growing, the people grow with it. Everything grows exponentially. If you have 10 partners with level 16, I think the turnover doesn't matter at this point, because at that point, that's just a lot of people and a lot of money. You actually get 0.125%. So that's huge. That is really huge. You know, it's shared among all the partners who fulfilled conditions in each nomination. I'm going to get some more info on that and talk about that next time. But insane. Fantastic. Withdrawal. This is huge, guys. So whoever is in Sincere Systems, the withdrawal system has changed. Okay. We know recently that it's changed with the minimum 4 months. Okay. Till you're able to withdraw. Now there's a couple new things that have come about. And I should say that they are slightly better, right? Yeah, they are a little bit better, actually. Not in the beginning, but by the end of the 12 months, it's actually easier to take out your deposit. So let's talk about it. We all know that you can only withdraw your initial deposit. You know, if you put in $10,000 today, for example, that $10,000, do not touch it. Let it be there till after 4 months, because until 4 months, it is frozen. You cannot touch it. You cannot take it out of the system. I'll explain why later on. Now, after 4 months, If you take it out between 4 and 6 months, you have a commission of 30%. Remember that percentage was 15, but that was for from 6 to 12 months. Now they've broken it down into further steps. Okay, so the commission from 4 to 6 months will take 30% of your deposit if you decide to withdraw it. Okay, from 7 to 9 months, the commission is 20%. And if you withdraw your whole deposit from 10 to 12 months, your commission is 10% only. Okay, so after the 13th month, after the 12 months has passed, the 13th month, you can take out your entire deposit with 0% commission. Question number one that I receive all the time: why do they freeze our money? Why can't we have our deposits back? Well, because think about it. The company needs to protect itself. Imagine 10 people with $10 million come into the company for a month, take out the profit, and take out all their 100 million total. That's insane. You can't do that. You need to protect yourself. That's what banks do. Think about it. The bank, right? You tell them, hey, I got $1 million. I want to put it in my savings account. I want to make some money. I want to make a percentage on deposit. What does the bank tell you? Sorry, I'm running out of battery. What does the bank tell you? We need to freeze your money for a year. We need to freeze your money for 2 years, 3 years. Why do they do that? No one ever thinks about it. They just say, oh, it's because it's a bank. No, because the bank may not have the money to give you when you need that huge amount of money. This is how the company protects itself. So obviously people join the company at different days and different months and different weeks. So if everyone has different withdrawal dates, that means the company always has an amount of money to give you. So within 12 months after if you do want to take out your deposit, which you probably won't want to, because by then you've already made much more money than you've put in. You can take out all the income that you receive. So any income that you receive starting from the first month, you can take out. That's cool. This proves that this company is doing the right thing, because they're not limiting you on the passive income. You can make as much money as you want with this company and take it out, which proves that it's legit. It's just the deposit that you're putting in the money. It's like a guarantee for the company that you're loyal, that you trust them, and everything is going to be good. And so the company rewards you for that with the passive income. Think about it like this. A lot of people get angry with the frozen aspect. They're like, whoa, why are they freezing our money? Man, any bank freezes your money. Like, whoa, wake up. Like anyone. No one's going to take $1 million, keep it for a month, and give it back to you. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The fact that this company actually gives it back after 4 months, even with a commission, is a surprise. I honestly thought that they would be freezing it for over a year. Hey, don't do that. But, in case, that's genuinely what I feel about it, because there's nothing new about freezing money, having to withdraw after a year. After a year of keeping your deposit in the company, your withdrawal rate is 0%. So you can put in the money for a year, see how it works, take out the income. If you like what you like, you can keep your deposit or add to it, or you can take out your whole deposit, not even be charged for it. Fantastic. The income that you make every single month you can take it out if you want. If you want, you can reinvest it. You can take it out. It's completely up to you. And anything that you make from the partner program, the marketing of the company, anything that you make on the system with your deposit or with the deposit of your team, you can take out, freely. There's no commissions on that. It's the only commission we talked about is, exchanging it and sending it to Binance or wherever it is, or Advocash that you're sending it to, wherever it is. So here are our achievements. So right now, as I mentioned, 2 partners have reached the 16% or the level 11. The team turnover for those 2 people is 25 million. So each one of those people has a team turnover of 25 million. So total for 2 people on top of Sincere Systems is $50 million for 2 people. That is insane. That's a lot of money over their head. That's great. The bonus for each person was $1 million. So you can see through the bonus system that the company actually, cares about, people marketing their company. They actually do care because they reward people for it. They don't need to advertise themselves. Why would you need to advertise it when you have people who believe and who understand that the company is working legitimately? Where are the transactions? Here they are. How does it work? Here it is. Webinars, please, every day, whatever questions you have, we'll find out, we'll figure it out. There's teams, there's sponsors, there's leaders. The company, it's a huge team. It's like a huge wolf pack. This is what I love about it. Anyways, that's actually it. So I wanted to thank you all for coming to this webinar. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, Finance Nick. I really appreciate you guys for coming along. I hope you enjoyed. About the questions we're going to be talking now, I'm going to turn off the recording. But anyways, thank you so much. I wish you successful investments with reliable partner. Boom. Okay, cool. Recording is over. I want to thank you all for coming, Anastasia.